what is going down? It's Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another YouTube stream. Um, Today I wanted to do a thank you for the support stream, and something happened there that kind of like really made me like just think about like all the support and like sort of what's just really happened over the past couple of years. And I just thought, because of sort of what's happened today, and obviously it got me thinking, I thought I'll just throw up a little live and I'll just literally say thank you all for the support. And this even dates back to when I first seeing back in 2015, when all of the oldies supported all the songs like One Bed Flat and Irish Whistle and To the Beat One Time, all them little bass line and donk tunes and rap tunes that I used to, we'll say, because it was back then, I used to attempt to as. And obviously things have hellishly, drastically changed since then, and I've only got to literally just look up at my bedroom wall here, and I'm not short of achievements, things where I class where I think, you know what, well done, Noble, you've worked hard to get here. So, to cut the story short, you might be aware of a big brand called This Is Bounce UK. Now, they put on some pretty big size scale events, and they put a post up today, and they've got an event that's going to be happening Halloween this year. And they put a post up, and they was looking for up and coming talent for the room too. Now, I was unaware of this post until I woke up to see I'd been mentioned in the post. And then throughout the day, loads of people have mentioned me in the post. So they mentioned my name in the comment section of the post, which obviously means that they're saying, like, this guy would smash up the room too. This guy would be good for the room too. And sometimes, till you actually see it, like, and you see people there that are physically, like, seeing that post and thought, you know what, I'll put Noble's name down. And it really makes you think, like thank you for the support, like, and it shows that there's genuine people out there that do, want you to do well, and that do want you to succeed, because there's loads of people that you would think would like go there and put your name forward, like, just because they're supposed to be your friends, or they maybe don't even necessarily support that scene. But you would think, like, because they know you're a big sort of like supporter of that scene, and you love that style of music, and they know you're doing well, you'd think, they'd tag your name in. And I mean, I shared the post myself, and then I put a little thank you up on Facebook just for everybody that had mentioned my name. And someone who I know quite well even went in the comment section and said, this is not my bloke style of music, or I would have tagged him. And I thought, well, if it's not his style of music, and I'm supposed to be a so-called friend, you'd think you put my name forward. But no, on a real note, it was so nice to see people that had put my name forward. I've been mentioned about 7, maybe even 8 times. It could be less, it could even be more. I can't physically remember. I just know throughout the day I've been mentioned, and obviously I did my bit and mentioned a few people. There's always people on them posts that like mention themselves. Like, and I know people are like all itching, and people like want to have a go, but it was like mention somebody who you think would, do you know what I mean? So like, obviously I didn't mention myself. I mentioned other people, and then other people mentioned me. And that's the way it should be, that's what I thought that the rule of the post was. But there's people that don't even tag anybody and just put, I'd be up for doing a set. And I'm thinking, at least tag some of your mates. But No, like on a real, it was nice, like to see people mentioning my name. And they've thanked everybody who has like jumped on the post and mentioned people, and people that have obviously taken part in the post. And they're gonna be having a little listen to some mixes. I mean, I left the link to my mix on there, after I'd been mentioned. And some other people did the same thing. So they'll be listening, to some mixes. And I suppose they'll be taking a note as well on I'd say how many people like got mentioned. Like, so if one person gets mentioned quite a lot of times, then it's obviously gonna it's gonna raise awareness that a lot of people must like this guy and or this woman, or thinks this person can do well. So it's just a waiting game. So like I say, thank you to everybody that jumped on the post and obviously put my name forward. If I do hear anything of it, the page or the brand themselves, they'll message me themselves, which will be a really good thing, to hear. And then obviously, if that is the case, if I do get offered to play a set, or whatever the outcome may be, if they say, you didn't get lucky this time, or maybe there's future events, where we'd be interested in having you down, or then obviously I'll be sure to let you know upon the live stream, via YouTube. But all in all, it just got me thinking about like support over the years. And just how things have changed really from them days where I wrote bars in my bedroom at my nan's house. And and we've come quite a long way. I mean, I started in the bedroom at my nan's house. We moved down to the shed. And then obviously the equipment got upgraded. And when I first started, I didn't even own a microphone. Let alone speakers and mixers and decks and vinyl turntables and about 1,000 vinyl records. Um, it was just me, an iPad, a Bluetooth speaker, a mobile phone, and my voice. And in the very, very early MCs, I didn't even like film the camera on myself. It was just a black screen, because I didn't actually feel confident enough back then to show my face up on the camera. So things have changed. I mean, obviously, like I say, we started in the bedroom, we moved down to the shed. Then I got the mic mixer and the PA speakers, and all the rest of it. And then obviously we went from there on, and I got the vinyl records, and then I got the CDJs, and then I got the turntables. Then we moved out to Driffield. I obviously started doing the bookings and events, and then I took the DJing more seriously. And now we sit here. And it's just crazy how things have changed over the years. And there will be people out there like, well, if you start doing something, like whether it may be music, or whether it be something. I mean, I suppose music particularly is a good one, because a lot of people think like, oh, you can't really ever do anything serious with music. And a lot of people sort of like disapprove of people that like do things with music, because it's not like a physical job, like building or plumbing. So people will just shut you down instantly and say, there's nothing in it, don't waste your breath, and don't waste your time on it. And just get yourself a normal job. And although like yeah, getting into music, it can be a really hard thing. And you've got to do a lot of events for free before you can even start getting paid. And even some events and some promoters that they don't want to pay you, simple as. You know you've got a very long journey, like if you do get sort of like get into music. But I suppose with where I've got to, um all I can say to anybody getting into music, if it's really a passion, and it's like something that you really want to do, like it's not impossible. Because like the outcome of like where I've got to from where I started has been like absolutely incredible. Like it, you know, obviously, like I say, I started, rapping in my bedroom, and now, I'm going to events, and and I'm on the same lineup as people that I've like followed, and listened to music, listened to their music for years. People like Ian Van Dow, Castles in the Sky. That them tunes were massive tunes when I was a kid. And they were on some of the biggest labels at the time, and they've been on some of the biggest CDs that have ever come out in dance music. And then obviously, to sort of sit here now and say, well, I'm on the same lineup as these people. It's an amazingly crazy feeling. So, it's not impossible. And like I say, I've moved up to playing in the clubs now. I do gigs, and I am now getting things out of it and getting things in return. So anybody, sort of like getting into it, and then you've got these people that say like, do you know what I mean? People. Oh, so yeah. But anyway, point being, is a massive thank you for the support. The post blew me away today with people mentioning my name, people putting me forward. People just genuinely, thinking I've got what it takes to be in that room too. And I mean, obviously, I do think that myself, but obviously to hear it from other people, or should I say, to see it written and typed, because they could tag anybody out of their friends list. Like, we're in a big DJ community where there's so many DJs that can do what I can do, and they could have tagged them. They could have easily tagged them. They could have easily, put that person forward instead of me. But there was obviously something that at that moment that went through their mind that made them think, you know what, I'm going to put Noble forward. And they did. So it was just really well to see. So like I say, I just want to say thank you to all the supporters. We've gained loads along the way, but unfortunately, gaining supporters does come with losing supporters. But all I can say to you on that score is it is going to happen. If you start getting into something, all of your best buddies and friends, they're going to be so supportive. They're going to be your best mates at the start of it. They're going to want what's best for you. They're going to tell you that you've got the power to dominate this and you're going to go so far. The only trouble is when you do start actually going far, or you do start moving up and you do start improving and getting better, they become more distant, they get more jealous. I had it the same when I started MCing in 2015. All of my friends, all of my locals, where I lived at the time, cheered and chanted me on. Absolutely, you've got this. Liked and shared all my videos. Really pushed for me to do well. I used to go out and meet with my mates, and they wanted me to spit bars. And then obviously, I got better and better, and then I started, emceeing at the events, and then slowly it distanced off to where now there's only very minor of them supporters. And then obviously I started coming to Hull, doing all the local, doing like local events in Hull, going to house parties, doing the online radio, and it was great. All of these new supporters, and they were all loving what I was doing and wanting me involved in the radios and wanting me down at their house parties, and letting me on at the local events, and giving me the mic, and letting me have a go. And then obviously, again, I moved up, and then I started gigging out of town and getting some bigger bookings. And some of these people, maybe, not in a bad way, but, they weren't getting these bigger bookings, and, they were sort of just mixing it home, and maybe wondering why it's all going wrong, or why they're not really, getting anywhere, or more importantly, they think because I'm getting somewhere that I'm just instantly going to be able to, to put them on a flyer. And that's not how the game works. If I get asked to play somewhere, that doesn't give me the right to say, right, he's playing as well. Like, it's not my event. And a good example, I went to a festival last year, the Harder Southwest Fest. You might remember it. I got booked for it, so did a lot of other people. Wasn't my festival. I had 0% of anything to do with the sort of like making or the promoting of the festival. I was just simply asked to come down and DJ and MC at this festival. And I had a text from a friend of mine's girlfriend asking me if if I'd put her bloke on the lineup, and obviously, sadly, it wasn't my I couldn't just say yes or no. What wasn't my place to do so, and I think the person hadn't read the flyer properly either, and I don't think they realised it was like a right down south thing, and none of them even drove at the time. But the whole point of it was it wasn't my place to just say, here, look, this person's going to come down with me and play. It wasn't my event to do so, because I didn't get this person on the flyer. This woman went distant and went bitter with me, and then a couple of months after that, that was it. She was blocking me. I'd not been there. I'd not been supportive of them. Blah blah blah. Never had any issues with the bloke. The bloke never even messaged me anything about this festival, or asked me if he could play at this festival or anything like that. I was still sound with the guy. As a matter of fact, I even saw him not well, probably about 7-8 months back now. I was coming out of my house to get a bus somewhere. I'd just seen him up on the main road as he was working up this end. And he was absolutely sound with me, but never seen him again, never seen him since, never been round to his house for a mix or anything like that. And this was all just because I didn't put him on this lineup, and his last got ump over it, and then all these people suddenly weren't supporting her, and she was unfriending everybody off the internet, all the sort of like DJs, if you like, as they weren't supporting, or something like that. And the truth is if you do want to get somewhere, like, you've got to put your own effort in. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, I ain't gonna sit there and say I've not had help, because I've had drastic amounts of help. I've had, so many helpful and supportive people, which is again due to who you decide to surround yourself with as well. If you're surrounding yourself with a bunch of people that aren't really doing anything themselves or really getting anywhere themselves, then all of you together, you're not going to go somewhere. Whereas if you're surrounding yourself with somebody who's up for doing something, and up for being different, and up for giving different things a try and getting out there, and not somebody who just sort of wants to sit at home and or just cares about doing something because it's a chance to have a piss up, then so be it. And this is also why over the past couple of months I've cut right down on the drinking to the point where I only really have a drink now and again. And this is through it because I don't want to be that person where, like, I won't take a booking, like, if it's out of town, because I'm not able to have a drink, and that is why some people turn down a booking. Like, some people are well enough capable of taking on a booking. They could drive there, they could get the name out there, but then it comes down to the fact that well, if I do that, I'm gonna want to have a drink, or I'm gonna want to have other stuff besides, and then that calls for staying in an hotel, and then it turns out being costly for them, and then before you know it, they are spending, like, quite a lot of money, just to go and play an event. So then they start thinking, well, it's not worth it, and then they don't put the name forward. But what you've got to really think about is, like, do you really want to push the music? Like, are you really up for your music? Are you really passionate about your music? Or do you just like having a good time and getting drunk? If you just like having a good time and you just like getting drunk, then just stick to playing events in your own town and going to events in your own town, and have a good piss up and get a taxi home. But then on the other hand, don't get jealous of the people that are going to all the out of town events and that are doing well. Um, and I've surrounded myself with a great friend who doesn't take drugs. The only thing he does is smoke cigarettes. And we drive to events. We keep it sober. We support the brand. My friend, he takes the pictures at the events. And we just sort of bring that sort of positive outlook to the event. And then we drive back home, get food and go to bed, and that is literally the all in end all of it. If there's an out of town event, there's nothing that like ever concerns us, because we're not thinking like, oh well, we can't have a good drink here, because we're not bothered if whether we can have a good drink or not, because having a good drink or not is not the main reason of why we're going. We're going because we're passionate about the music. We're going because we want to better ourselves. We're going because we want to get out there and surround ourselves with all these other good DJs and promoters, because these other DJs that are on these lineups are also people that have actually done something and pushed themselves to get somewhere. Whereas opposed to, no offences to some of the local events, and don't get me wrong, there's some great local events, but some people on these local lineups are only ever on these local lineups because they're not physically pushing themselves. But you can't sit in this chair and just get it like that. You've got to put effort in. Whether it be like just being active on social media, whether it be doing live streams, whether it be, like I say, a good thing, and this has worked massively in my favour, is going down to other events and supporting, and even some events like, I play at Bounce to Your Drop, like, quite often. It's about an hour away from Hull, and the simple reason that people, who would go there would have to drive, and then they couldn't have a drink, stops them from going. But if you really want to get out there, you really want to support your local events, then obviously, like, it's half an hour down the road, and it's one night out of God knows how many nights, like, you wouldn't be going there. Do you know what I mean? Like Bounce to Your Drop within itself, their events are like sort of like sometimes every 3 months. So it's like one night out of so many nights where you just take a half an hour drive, support someone who's actually who's supposed to be your friend, but just for one night, and then drive back. Out of all the times you can go somewhere local and put a gallon of alcohol in your stomach, it's to me it's a no-brainer. And now I've sort of like stopped myself from drinking as much, and I've started to sort of trying to live this better life, if you like. You do sort of, in some sense, you do see like a lot of the problems and a lot of the wrongs with the old life. And don't get me wrong, like, there is, like, I'm not obviously telling people like don't drink. Obviously, that's not, people want to drink, that's their, obviously that's their, what they decide to do. I just feel personally, for me, I've given it up, and I just feel like things have improved for me. And I just think, like, if you want to do well within whatever you're doing, like, you have got to sort of like put some things aside. Like, you've got to give way to make good things come. So, like, I'm not obviously saying, like I say, stop the drinking. That's not what I'm saying. But if you wanna maybe like go and support like another event or support another brand, then just don't drink for that one night. Like, it's not giving up drinking. It's just cutting it back for one night. So you can go somewhere. Or if you really do want to have a little drink, then just arrange somebody else to drive who maybe isn't fussed about having a drink. Do you know what I mean? But it all boils down to like how much you want to support someone, how much you want to better yourself. You could get down there and meet and talk to the to the promoter, and then you never know what could happen. Sometimes I've been a little bit like iffy about me like going somewhere, like not within a bad way, but maybe I've just thought like I feel a bit tired, or sometimes I just think like like do I want to go, like I feel a bit tired. Even sometimes I've had a bit of an headache, and then I've ended up going, and then something good's come out of it. Like maybe I've had a booking out of it, or maybe I've made like a new friend who we're gonna link up and do some music or something. And then you sit there and you think I was meant to go. And sometimes just by not going to something or giving something a try, like you could miss out on something. Or there again, you could go there and just an ordinary average night, and nothing happens. And I've had that before, but it's that you don't know if you don't go. And this is why I love going to the events, because you never know what you're gonna find. You never know who you're gonna meet. You never know what's gonna happen. And you're out there within just an amazing amazing like nightclubs and music, and again you're meeting amazing people. You're having such a laugh. You're getting out there. You're not just sat at home. And it just works in your favour. But what you've just got to understand, the all and all like up and coming, is you are gonna lose supporters. Like if you are genuinely doing well, like people don't want you to do well. Like if they can't gain anything from it. So if you're going somewhere and then you can't take them with them, or they can't benefit something out of it, and then that's when they'll start becoming distant. If you was a driver and you was going to all these events sober, and you was saying, "Oh, jump in with me," and then they was coming along and then they was drinking a gallon, you wouldn't really think anything of it, because you'd think they're coming along and they're coming and supporting, and but the end all and end all, it's still kind of using you, because they're just using you for the lift. They get into this decent, better event. They're able to drink a gallon without having to stop in a hotel. You're going to drop them back off at the doorstep, and they're going to sort of play it on that they're supporting you, and you think that they're supporting you, and when the end all and end all is they're not. They're using you for the lift. They're using you for somewhere to go and have a piss up and a drink, while at the same time making it look like they're supporting you. But it's just how the game goes. I mean, it'll probably be the same with like darts or football. Like if you started, I don't know, say playing darts at your local pub, I'm sure all your mates would come and support you. Then you get somewhere a bit more, and you go into these out of town dart tournaments, and then there'll be oh, sorry, we can't make this one, and then all your supporters will go. But then that makes way for good people, because then you'd go to these darts tour, tour, tournaments, yeah, tournaments, and then you'd meet all these new people at the tournaments, and these are people that are coming to these out of town tournaments, and these other like positive people, and it's obviously the way it goes. But anyway, the end all and end all is the whole reason of this stream was thank you for the supporters. I do always like to shed a little bit of light from what I think and from my experience as well. As I have, like I say, I've lost a lot of supporters along the way, and people that only pop up now and again trying to be relevant. you know, and sometimes it's just the way that it's just the way the game goes. But I want people to know, people that supported me back then that still support me now. So current supporters at the moment. Absolutely big love to you. People that have mentioned me in that post is just phenomenal, and people that put me on their events as well. Promoters, bounce to your drop. They've always been so good to me, and they're a great example of like the kind of positive people that I like being involved with, because they're doing things for for the better of the scene. And they've really taken, you know, just to being, you know, like family to me, really. You know, if I don't play the events, I go to the events, and they're just so like, oh, you know, come in, and you can go on the stage. And it's almost like I am a part of the brand itself, even though I aren't sort of like, officially a part of the brand. But it's like, you know, it almost like I am, because, you know, like I say, whether I play an event or I don't, or I go to the event, I always share and promote them on YouTube, share and promote them on on Facebook and Instagram. So it is, in a lot of sense. It's like, I just help them out sort of on social. And all they have to do is, is just ask, and and I'll do it. Sending flyers down, I'll post them out. Because I'm not one of these people that I'm not in stuff for myself. Like, just because I'm not playing their, say their next event, doesn't mean I'm gonna go, I'm not handing flyers out, because it's the wrong attitude to give, and people are gonna think like he's only interested when he's playing, and it's not the case. And what you've got to understand is lineups need to be different. If you have 10 events, say, in 1 year, and every lineup is more or less the same, like, you're gonna think, well, that's quite boring. There's no point me going all there to see this all the time. And when things are when things can be a little bit different. So but like I say, they're a good brand. I love getting behind them and supporting them, because they're just they've been so good to me. So if you can find a brand, or if you can get involved in something that is just good, and they're helping you out and you're helping them out, and you've got a good friendship, and you're enjoying what you do, it's going to be a bonus. So anyway, thank you for the support once again. Make sure to like, comment, share. Peace out, people.